Pay attention. To get away from the noise of the city, a woman brought her best friend back to her hometown. She planned to use the original building site to put up a nice little country courtyard. Now that they have the space, they start figuring out the layout of the yard. After all, this place is pretty roomy. The final result is bound to look really good. Once the plan is set, they start building the house. They mark out the construction area, then start digging the foundation. That way the little courtyard they build will be even more solid. After dealing with the foundation, the materials arrive without any problem. The main theme of their courtyard is cobblestones. Once they have plenty of materials, the next step is to put these materials into the foundation. Then they can start laying them. Once the foundation is completely backfilled and level, the other materials also make it to the site without issue. Next, they can mix concrete and continue building. Since they don't have proper equipment, all the work is done by hand, so things go a little slower. But to have their own place as soon as possible, they start working day and night. Even when visibility is low at night, they light a campfire and keep building. Once they are almost done for the time being, they set up a tent nearby to sleep. They also handle dinner right there on the spot. To have a new house to live in, they are really going all out. The next day, they continue building. With their combined effort, they now have a foundation. Next, they can start laying the walls on top of it. Thanks to their hard work, the walls slowly start to take shape. From this angle, the house actually looks pretty good. The footprint and layout are both nice. At this point, they use concrete again to harden the ground. Then they start picking out some good quality lumber for the house. Once they decide the lumber is quickly brought into the yard. Before building, they first measure the length of the platform, then start processing the logs they bought. Once they cut them to the right length, they start peeling off the bark. After working on them continuously, they now cut grooves into the logs, getting ready for the next step of construction. After a large number of logs are processed, the next step is to start putting them together. If I had to guess, this spot is for a wooden gazebo. This area will be used for relaxing and hanging out. Once the bottom frame is successfully put together, next they can install the logs on top. Now that the frame is successfully built, next they can finish the roof frame. After deciding what materials to buy, color-coded roof tiles are delivered quickly. Then they start installing the roof tiles. Since these are plastic tiles, they are pretty simple to install. With the two of them working non-stop, the roof of the house is successfully installed. Next, they start preparing other materials to work on the area around the house. First, they start laying the walls. Because they have ready-made bricks, the brick laying goes fairly quickly. But this wall, they don't plan to build it very high. From far away it sort of looks like a pig pen. With their combined effort, all the walls are finished. Then they can start plastering the walls. After another full day of work, the walls are successfully done. The next day, they buy a lot of wooden boards and start closing up the walls. This process is actually pretty simple. Just cut the wooden boards to the right length and assemble them. Next, they can attach the entire frame to the walls. And the fastening method is pretty simple too. Once some of the frames are successfully assembled, next they can attach them to the walls. And you can see the result looks pretty good. Now that all the frames are done, next they can work on the details. Seeing such an open area, this spot is probably the kitchen, but what exactly it is, only they will know once they finish building. Since the entire walls are made of wooden planks, the result is, they are pretty happy with it. But the area so far is just a small part of their whole courtyard. After making space for storage, they can now install the wall panels. This house being built by hand is slowly taking shape. Now they can install the entry door that they made themselves, and you have to admit, the result looks pretty good too. The house is now more than halfway done. To keep bugs from damaging the house, they use a blowtorch to char the surface. That prevents wood-eating insects from damaging these wooden features. With the two of them working hard, all the wooden door areas are fully charred. Then they start processing a lot of bamboo to build the platform for the second floor. Finally, they spray a coat of preservative paint on the house. That way the final result will be really nice. Thanks to their hard work, the first house is successfully built. They will continue improving the yard from there.